There comes a moment in every human life when you must stop and ask yourself, am I creating my destiny or am I letting my habits destroy it? Because life doesn't break you in one big explosion. It breaks you quietly through patterns, through small choices, through habits that you repeat when no one is watching. Every dream that has died, every opportunity that slipped away, every person who wakes up one day and wonders how they lost themselves. It's not fate, it's habit. The truth is, your habits write your story before your mind even realizes it. They decide your energy, your courage, your wealth, your relationships, your joy, and your peace. And if you do not confront the habits that drain your power, they will turn you into a shadow of the person you are meant to become. We all have dreams. We all start with enthusiasm. When we were children, the world was wide open. You could become a hero, an inventor, a singer, a builder of empires. Then slowly, reality comes in. You begin to live by repetition instead of intention. You start waking up not because you're excited, but because you're supposed to. You start speaking not from your soul, but from your schedule. You begin existing instead of living. That's when habits begin to write your life for you. The world does not destroy people. Repetition without awareness does. You cannot live your best life on autopilot. You cannot manifest greatness while serving your comfort. And I've seen it. Brilliant people, powerful people, kind people completely lose direction because they refuse to break three habits. Three simple but deadly ways of thinking and living that keep them poor in spirit, poor in time, poor in possibility. If you do not break them, they will break your destiny. The first habit is making excuses. The second is living in fear of discomfort. And the third is waiting for perfect conditions. Excuses are sweet, addictive, and deadly. They are the language of limitation disguised as logic. Every time you say, I can't because, you are building a cage. Every time you defend your weakness, you are protecting your chains. People love to rationalize their mediocrity because it feels safer than facing their potential. It's easier to say, I don't have time, than to admit I am wasting my life. It's easier to say, I'm not ready, than to confess I am afraid. But every excuse you make becomes a seed that grows into regret. Excuses don't protect you, they poison you. I remember talking to a young man once who said, I want to change my life, but I can't. I come from a poor family, I have support. I said, that's not a reason, that's a story. Because every success story starts with someone who refused to let their story become an excuse. Poverty is not the problem. Fear is not the problem. Starting late is not the problem. The problem is believing those things define you. Excuses are not truth. They are comfort for the mind that has stopped believing in miracles. And the moment you defend your limitation, you keep it alive. Look at history. Every breakthrough, whether in business, science, or faith, came from someone who had every reason to quit but chose to move forward anyway. They had no resources, no support, no security, but they had hunger. Hunger is the weapon that kills excuses. Hunger is what makes you walk when others sleep. Hunger is what makes you see possibilities when others see obstacles. And that hunger comes when you stop explaining your situation and start expanding your imagination. You cannot argue your way into greatness. You must act your way there. Life is not fair. It's filtered through courage. The world does not listen to your reasons. It responds to your results. And if you want your life to change, you must stop explaining and start executing. Excuses will keep you safe, but safety is the enemy of growth. You can have excuses or you can have evolution, but not both. The moment you stop making excuses, you regain authority over your future. Now, the second habit that destroys people quietly is the fear of discomfort. It sounds innocent. It hides under words like balance, self-care, I don't feel like it, but it's the same force that keeps millions from becoming who they were designed to be. People say they want transformation, but they want it to feel comfortable. That's impossible. Growth is discomfort. Transformation is inconvenience. Faith is friction. The comfort zone is not a place. It's a prison decorated to look like peace. It feels good for a while, but it kills your momentum when you stay comfortable. Your mind becomes soft, your spirit becomes lazy, and your potential sleeps. Think about it. A muscle only grows when it tears. Diamonds only form under pressure. Gold only shines after fire. And yet people want power without pressure, results without responsibility, glory without grind. That's not how the universe works. If you refuse to feel discomfort, you refuse to evolve. The most dangerous comfort is emotional comfort. The kind where you avoid challenges, avoid people who tell you the truth, avoid situations that expose your weakness. You call it peace, but it's just fear in disguise. Life rewards those who can sit in discomfort and still move forward. The most successful people I've ever seen are not those who have fewer problems. They're those who handle discomfort better than others. They can stay calm in chaos. They can stay focused when it hurts. They can wake up tired and still give their best because they understand pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Let me tell you something powerful. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, you rewrite your destiny. When you face the hard thing instead of running from it, you open a new timeline of possibility. There is a universal law. Resistance is the birthplace of revelation. You will never discover your true strength while you're comfortable. You will never access divine ideas in a lazy atmosphere. You will never meet your higher self in your comfort zone. The door to your next level is labeled discomfort. Only those willing to knock enter. You see, comfort seduces people. It tells you, you've earned it, you deserve rest, you've done enough, and sometimes that's true. Rest is sacred, but comfort becomes toxic when it's constant. The more you indulge it, the less you believe in your own power. You start thinking small, you stop dreaming. You stop risking, you stop growing, you stop glowing. And one day you wake up realizing you traded your destiny for the illusion of ease. The universe never rewards those who choose the easy path. It rewards those who endure the refining fire and still say, I'm not done yet. If you want to change your life, build a relationship with discomfort. Make it your mentor, not your enemy. When you start a new business, it will be uncomfortable. When you confront your fears, it will be uncomfortable. When you change your habits, your old identity will resist. That's normal. The discomfort means you're expanding. It means your old limitations are breaking apart. Learn to love that pain. It's not punishment, it's promotion. It's the universe saying, you're ready for more. And then there's the third habit, the one that looks so harmless, yet kills more dreams than failure ever will. It's the habit of waiting for perfect conditions, waiting for the right time, the right money, the right partner, the right feeling, the right sign. Let me tell you, there's no perfect time. There's no perfect place. There's only now. The people who wait for everything to align end up watching life pass them by. They confuse preparation with procrastination. They think perfection is progress, but perfection is paralysis. The moment you say, I'll start when I'm ready, you declare that you're not ready now, and you never will be. Readiness is not a state, it's a decision. The world belongs to those who act before they feel prepared. Think of the great innovators, the great creators, the great dreamers. They all started before they had it figured out. They took messy action. They learned on the road, not from the map. You cannot navigate your destiny from the safety of your comfort. You must step into the fog of uncertainty and trust that light will appear as you walk. The illusion of perfect timing is the mind's way of protecting you from fear. It whispers, just wait a little longer. But that little longer becomes years. You look back and realize the best time was always yesterday. The opportunity doesn't wait for you to be ready. It waits for you to be willing. Every second you delay action, your courage decays a little more. Courage is like a flame. It grows when you use it, but it dies when you hide it. That's why you must act when you're scared. That's when it matters most. Do you know why many people never succeed even when they're talented? It's because they are always almost ready. They overthink, overanalyze, overprepare. They wait for signs instead of creating signals. The truth is, action itself reveals what you need. You can't plan your way into mastery. You must move your way there. Motion creates clarity. Action creates alignment. Progress creates motivation. And when you move, life moves with you. The universe responds to momentum. I often tell people, if you can't do everything, do something. Start with what you have, where you are, and with who you are. The smallest step is better than the grandest intention. Your destiny doesn't need perfection. It needs participation. You don't need to know the whole staircase. Just climb the first step. You'll see the next one once you're in motion. You'll never discover your wings until you jump. These three habits, excuses, comfort, and waiting, are the silent killers of greatness. They don't make noise, they don't shout, they don't appear dangerous, but they quietly dissolve your dreams, one choice at a time. If you want to rebuild your life, you must reverse these patterns. Replace excuses with execution. Replace comfort with courage. Replace waiting with walking. Life changes not when you get more information, but when you change your direction. Every great success story starts with a simple decision. I will no longer live small, and that decision must be renewed every morning. Cannot break these habits once and expect them to stay gone. They are sneaky. They will return in moments of fear, in moments of doubt, in moments of exhaustion. You'll start to hear them whisper again, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, maybe it's too hard. But you must silence them with movement. You must prove your faith by your footsteps, because the universe listens not to your words, but to your vibration. If you vibrate hesitation, you attract delay. If you vibrate excuses, you attract obstacles. If you vibrate courage, the path begins to open. Manifestation is not magic. It's motion combined with mindset. When your belief and your behavior align, the impossible starts to bend in your favor. But the price of that alignment is discomfort, risk, and persistence. You cannot manifest from a couch. You manifest from courage. I have met people who pray for blessings but reject the process that builds them. They want the mountain view without the climb. They want miracles but avoid motion. The universe is not cruel, it's consistent. It gives every person a chance, but not everyone recognizes it, because opportunity always disguises itself as challenge. The higher you want to go, the heavier the resistance will feel. That's not punishment, that's preparation. Every time you face resistance, understand that life is testing your commitment to your dream. It's asking, how bad do you really want this? Because talk is cheap, but endurance is expensive. Many people claim they want success, but the moment it gets hard, they retreat. They tell themselves stories like, maybe it's not meant to be, or I'll try again later, when in reality, that very moment of resistance was the doorway they were supposed to push through. You see, life hides its treasures behind trials. The universe wants to know if you are serious. It does not give diamonds to those who run from dirt. It gives them to those who dig deeper, even when their hands bleed. That is why breaking these 3 habits is not a one-time act. It is a spiritual discipline. You must watch yourself daily, because the old patterns will try to sneak back in. The mind loves the familiar. Even when the familiar is killing you, you have to reprogram it, to teach it new commands. When it says, I can't, you respond, I can learn. When it says, it's too late, you respond, it's my time. When it says, I'm not ready, you say, I'm already becoming. This is not motivational talk, it is mental rewiring. You are teaching your subconscious to obey your vision instead of your fears. People talk about manifestation like it's wishful thinking, but manifestation is the science of alignment. The universe mirrors your inner world. If you carry excuses inside, you attract situations that justify them. If you carry courage inside, you attract opportunities that reward it. Your vibration is the language of creation. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in harmony, reality rearranges itself around you. That is why breaking toxic habits is not just a moral issue, it's an energetic one. You cannot attract abundance while thinking like a victim. You cannot attract love while vibrating resentment. You cannot attract greatness while living in comfort. Energy follows emotion, and emotion follows habit. Let's talk about the psychology of excuses for a moment. Excuses are not logical, they are emotional shields. They protect your ego from pain. Every time you fail or feel fear, your ego looks for someone or something to blame so you can feel safe again. It's not my fault, it's the economy, it's my family, it's my boss. This helps you survive disappointment, but it kills your accountability. The moment you transfer blame, you transfer power. Responsibility may feel heavy, but it is the only weight that builds strength. Once you accept full ownership of your life, every mistake, every delay, every decision, you stop waiting for rescue and start building results. That's why people who succeed are rarely the smartest or the richest. They are the most responsible. They take full ownership of their outcomes. They don't say, I failed because of others. They say, I failed because I stopped pushing. They don't say, life is unfair. They say, I will adapt. That mindset is power. Because when you stop arguing with reality, you start shaping it. Responsibility turns chaos into clarity. Now, when it comes to the fear of discomfort, I want you to understand something deeper. Your nervous system is wired for safety, not success. Every time you try something new, whether it's starting a business, speaking in public, changing your routine, Your brain sends danger signals. It doesn't care about your dreams, it cares about survival. That's why you feel anxiety, hesitation, tightness in your chest. That's your brain saying, stay where it's safe. But safe and successful rarely coexist. You cannot evolve while obeying your nervous system. You must recondition it through repetition. Every time you act despite fear, your brain learns that discomfort is not death, it's growth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of movement despite it. The greatest among us are not fearless. They are practiced in pain. They've learned to sit with the storm until it calms. They've learned that every level of life requires a higher level of discomfort tolerance. You want to expand your income? You must expand your tolerance for uncertainty. You want deeper relationships? You must expand your tolerance for vulnerability. You want inner peace? You must expand your tolerance for solitude. Growth is always on the other side of what makes you uneasy. And the third habit, waiting for perfect conditions, oh, how seductive it is. It makes you feel smart while doing nothing. It disguises fear as strategy. I'm just planning, I'm researching, I'm getting ready. But there is no amount of preparation that can replace execution. Perfectionism is procrastination dressed in a suit. I've met countless dreamers who died with plans still in their notebooks because they kept waiting for the right season. Listen carefully. There's no right season. There is only right intention backed by right action. Momentum is your best friend. Once you move, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your awareness sharpens. Your path becomes clear. The universe cannot steer a parked car. It needs you to move first. Action attracts assistance. The moment you take the first step, life starts sending help. Ideas, people, coincidences, opportunities, but they never show up for the one who sits still. You can pray for blessings all you want, but prayer without motion is self-deception. Faith without movement is fantasy. The divine responds to daring. So let me speak to your spirit now. You might feel stuck. You might be tired. You might feel like you've been repeating the same year over and over, trapped in habits that keep you small. But deep inside you, there's still a spark, that voice that whispers, you were made for more. That is your soul reminding you of who you are. Don't silence it. Don't drown it in distractions. Listen to it, feed it. That voice will lead you through the storm, but you must act while it's still whispering, because if you delay too long, the noise of the world will drown it out. I've seen people change their entire destiny in a single decision. They woke up one day and said, enough excuses, enough comfort, enough waiting. And from that day, everything shifted. Not because the world changed, but because they did, their vibration elevated. Their words became stronger. Their energy became magnetic. They started showing up differently, and life started showing up differently for them. The truth is, your external life is always a mirror of your internal one. If your world feels chaotic, it's because your inner world needs order. If your results are inconsistent, it's because your discipline is inconsistent. If you keep attracting problems, it's because your energy still resonates with them. Change within and the outer world must follow. It's universal law. So stop trying to fix circumstances. Fix your habits. Fix your energy. Fix your focus. When you do that, the world rearranges itself around you in ways that look miraculous but are simply magnetic alignment when you eliminate excuses. You free your mind when you embrace discomfort. You expand your capacity. When you stop waiting, you unleash momentum. And when these three combine, you become unstoppable. You start to live with rhythm instead of resistance. You begin to feel connected to something larger. Call it God, the universe, the divine force. It doesn't matter what name you use. It begins to work through you, not just for you. Your ideas start flowing. People appear at the right time. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. And all because you stop playing small. Let me tell you what happens. Energetically, when you stop making excuses, your vibration rises instantly because you've reclaimed your power. The universe reads that frequency and sends you opportunities of the same strength. When you live without excuses, you signal, I'm ready. And life says, then here's your chance. When you stay in comfort, your energy stagnates, and stagnation attracts decay. But when you step into discomfort, your energy starts moving again. And movement attracts miracles. When you stop waiting, you activate momentum. And momentum bends time itself. What would have taken years begins to happen in months. That's not luck, that's alignment. Every person has two lives. The one they're living and the one they're capable of living. The bridge between the two is courage. Courage is not found in books or seminars. It's found in choices, in those quiet, unseen moments when you decide to keep going, even when no one believes in you. You have to become addicted to progress, obsessed with evolution, loyal to your purpose, even when it's lonely, because the path to transformation is rarely crowded. Most people turn back when it hurts, but if you can stay when others leave, if you can hold your faith when nothing makes sense, if you can walk through fear and still smile, you will rise beyond imagination. You might be in a dark season right now. Maybe you failed, maybe you've lost something precious, maybe your mind is filled with doubts. But remember this, your life is not over. The darkness is not the end, it's the cocoon. You are not breaking down, you're breaking open. Every painful moment is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, freer, but you must stop numbing the pain with excuses. Stop escaping it with comfort, and stop waiting for it to end before you walk through it. The universe rewards the brave, not the perfect. You see, manifestation is not about sitting quietly and wishing for change. It's about vibrating change through every cell of your being when you decide to become the version of yourself who deserves that dream. The universe has no choice but to respond. That's why change feels spiritual. It's not just physical movement, it's energetic transformation. The moment you break those 3 habits, your frequency changes. Suddenly, ideas come easier. You meet new people, you think differently, you start saying no to distractions and yes to destiny. And that's when life begins to accelerate. You are not here to live in loops, you are here to live in leaps. But loops happen when you refuse to grow. You repeat lessons until you learn them. Excuses repeat cycles. Comfort delays growth. Waiting freezes destiny. If you keep feeding those habits, you'll keep living the same story with different characters. But if you break them, your whole timeline shifts. You'll start attracting situations that match your higher frequency. You'll start feeling lighter. You'll start walking in alignment with purpose. And that's when something incredible happens. You stop chasing life and life starts chasing you. You stop forcing things and things begin flowing toward you. You stop fighting for validation and you start radiating so much confidence that everything meant for you feels magnetized. But to reach that level, you must surrender the habits that keep your energy heavy. Excuses lower your frequency because they are rooted in fear. Comfort lowers your frequency because it resists evolution. Waiting lowers your frequency because it is disguised doubt. The moment you release them, you rise. The moment you rise, you attract higher experiences. The moment you act, the entire universe acts with you. Think of your life as a river. When you make excuses, you block the flow with rocks of justification. When you stay in comfort, you dam the current with walls of fear. When you wait, the water stagnates. But when you move, when you decide to take responsibility, embrace challenge, and act with faith, you remove those barriers and the current of creation rushes again. Suddenly, things start happening that seem supernatural. The right ideas, the right calls, the right timing. But it was never luck. It was flow restored. Do you know why many never feel fulfilled, even when they achieve something? It's because they built success with the same habits that kept them small. They may earn more, but they don't become more. Real success is not accumulation. It's expansion. It's not about what you get. It's about what you grow into. If you break the wrong habits, you don't just change your bank account. You change your being. You evolve from reactive to creative. From fearful to faithful, from stuck to unstoppable. You have to train your mind to stop arguing for your limitations. Every time you say, that's just how I am, you freeze evolution. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your excuses. You are energy in motion. And that means you can rewrite yourself every day. But rewriting yourself requires breaking the loop of justification. When you feel the urge to explain why you can't, pause, take a deep breath, ask, is this truth or fear talking? 99% of the time, it's fear pretending to be wisdom. The reason so many never become who they're meant to be is that they have fallen in love with their stories. They repeat them until those stories become their prison. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have support. I'm not lucky. These are not truths. They are beliefs reinforced through repetition. Beliefs are nothing more than thoughts. You've thought so many times that they became part of your identity. If you want to change your life, change your inner dialogue. Speak possibility until it becomes normal. Speak victory until it becomes your vibration. Speak destiny until it becomes your default. There is power in your words because words shape energy. When you say, I am tired, you summon fatigue. When you say, I am learning, you summon growth. The universe is always listening. It doesn't respond to complaints, it responds to commands. You have to speak like someone who already believes. When you do, your energy begins to align with the outcome you desire. That's why when you say, I can't, you curse your own potential. When you say, I will, the world rearranges itself to assist you. Every affirmation, every word, every declaration plants seeds in the unseen realm that will soon bloom in your reality. But those seeds will not grow in a field full of excuses and fear. You must clear the soil. Pull out the weeds of laziness, procrastination, and doubt. Create a mental environment fertile enough for divine ideas to grow. Because inspiration is sacred. It visits those who are ready, not those who are waiting. When inspiration finds you consistent, it trusts you with more. When it finds you passive, it moves on to someone else. That's why you must act on your ideas quickly. The longer you wait, the heavier the doubt becomes. Think of all the ideas you've had that you never executed. The business you wanted to start, the book you wanted to write, the person you wanted to call. Every delay weakens the signal between you and your destiny. The universe is like a satellite. It sends opportunities at certain frequencies. If you don't act, you lose the signal. But when you act immediately, you amplify the connection. Action is your antenna. It tunes you to the frequency of manifestation. The reason successful people seem to attract more success is not because they're lucky. It's because they act faster. They don't overanalyze. They move. They trust that even if they fail, they will learn faster than those who hesitate. Life is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about accumulating wisdom through movement. You cannot steer a parked car. Once you're in motion, even the wrong turn becomes a teacher. And here's the paradox. People fear discomfort, but discomfort is what makes life exciting. Imagine a movie where nothing goes wrong. No tension, no challenge, no triumph. You'd fall asleep. Yet many live like that, trying to avoid any moment of struggle, any risk of rejection, any possibility of failure. But if you remove struggle, you remove story. If you remove pressure, you remove purpose. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your editor. It cuts out what doesn't belong in your next chapter. So don't pray for things to get easier. Pray to get stronger. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more courage. Don't seek comfort. Seek clarity. Comfort might give you temporary peace, but clarity gives you eternal purpose. You will never regret the battles that shaped your character, but you will always regret the chances you didn't take because you wanted things to be easy. You must reframe how you see pain. Pain is not punishment, it's feedback. It's life's way of saying something must grow here. When you stop resisting pain, it transforms into power. Every failure becomes fertilizer for your next success. Every rejection becomes redirection. Every delay becomes divine preparation. The universe is not trying to hurt you, it's trying to refine you. But refinement requires fire. You can't become gold without being melted first. That's why when things fall apart, don't panic, pay attention. It means something greater is being rearranged. The old structure must collapse before the new one can rise. That's the law of transformation. If you run from that process, you run from your becoming. Instead of saying, why me? Say, try me. Instead of asking, when will it end? Ask, what is it teaching me? Every discomfort carries wisdom, but you only receive it when you stop running and start listening and about waiting for perfect conditions. Here's the truth. The conditions become perfect when you commit. The moment you take action, things begin aligning. It's not about waiting for signs. It's about becoming the sign. You are the signal that tells the universe, I'm ready. The rain doesn't wait for your umbrella to appear. You step into the rain and learn to dance. That's how destiny unfolds. It favors movement, not hesitation. If you look back at the moments that changed your life the most, you'll notice they never felt convenient. Growth rarely does. But in every inconvenient decision, there was an invitation to trust, to leap, to believe, to expand. The people who say, one day I'll start, are building a future that never arrives. The people who say, today is the day, are already rewriting the script of their life. Don't let someday become the thief of your destiny. Someday is a word that has buried more dreams than failure ever did. Every morning you wake up, you are given two choices: repeat or rise. Repeat your patterns or rise to your potential. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a powerful decision. Once you decide, the rest unfolds through persistence. Decision is the bridge between intention and manifestation. But decision means cutting off the alternatives that keep you comfortable. It means burning the boats so you can't go back. Only then will your full power activate. You might think, what if I fail? But failure is just data. It's feedback from the universe. It's not final until you quit. In fact, every failure pushes you closer to mastery if you learn from it. Failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is born from comfort and excuses. You protect yourself from embarrassment by never trying, and you call it wisdom. But that's not wisdom. That's slow self-destruction. You don't fail when you fall, you fail when you stop getting up. Success is not measured by how high you climb, but by how quickly you rise after falling. Each comeback refines you. Each challenge redefines you. And when you've been through enough cycles of pain and persistence, you begin to realize nothing can truly break you unless you surrender your power. That's when you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop blaming and start building. You stop waiting and start working. You stop seeking permission and start walking in purpose. And once you reach that mindset, everything begins to transform. Not just your career, not just your goals, but your energy, your relationships, your very presence. You begin to carry a vibration that others can feel without you saying a word. You walk into a room and people can sense something different, a quiet certainty, an inner authority, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. That's what happens when you stop being a slave to the 3 habits that used to run your life. You stop leaking energy through excuses. You stop numbing your power with comfort, and you stop diluting your faith by waiting. You become a living example of what happens when courage meets consistency. But here's what most people don't realize. Breaking these habits is not about discipline alone, it's about identity. You cannot change your habits while keeping the same self-image that created them. If you still see yourself as unworthy, you'll keep attracting situations that match that belief. If you see yourself as weak, you'll continue to make weak choices. Real transformation begins when you stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, who do I need to become? Because when identity changes, behavior follows automatically. If you see yourself as a disciplined person, waking up early is natural. If you see yourself as a creator, taking risks feels normal. If you see yourself as powerful, speaking up doesn't feel scary. So stop trying to force new habits onto an old identity. Instead, declare your new identity boldly and start living as if it were already true. Don't wait until you see results to believe. Believe until you see results. That's how energy works. The inner frequency must come before the outer reality. This is where most people misunderstand manifestation. They think it's about asking for what you want, but it's really about aligning with who you must become to receive it. You don't manifest what you wish for. You manifest what you embody. If you embody excuses, you attract obstacles. If you embody courage, you attract breakthroughs. If you embody patience and action, you attract divine timing. The universe mirrors your energy, not your words. So if you want to change your outer world, raise your inner world. When you release the excuse habit, you send a signal to the universe that you're done negotiating with mediocrity. When you embrace discomfort, you tell life, I am ready to handle more. When you stop waiting for perfection, you declare, I trust divine timing. These declarations alter your energetic blueprint. Suddenly, what used to be difficult begins to flow. You start noticing synchronicities, small coincidences that are actually confirmations. You'll meet someone by chance, receive a call at the perfect time, hear the right message when you needed it most. These are not random, they are reflections of your new vibration. And once you start living in that flow, something profound happens. You become the example others look to when they feel lost. You stop being the person who needs motivation and become the one who gives it. People begin asking, how did you change? And you'll realize the answer isn't complicated. It's not a secret formula. It's not luck. It's simply the consistent decision to stop doing what weakens you. The truth is, people complicate success because they're afraid of how simple it actually is. Stop making excuses. Do what scares you. Start now. That's it. The difficulty isn't in the actions. It's in maintaining the mindset long enough for those actions to become habits, because the brain loves to drift back to old programming. That's why you must stay vigilant. Awareness is your weapon. Every time you catch yourself slipping into an old pattern, smile, that's growth. Awareness is proof that you're waking up. You see, most people live their entire lives asleep, running programs they never wrote. They learned them from parents, from teachers, from failure, from pain. They repeat what they saw. They defend what they learned, and they call it personality. But personality is just a collection of habits hardened by repetition. You can rewrite it at any time. You can choose to become unrecognizable to your old self. You can choose to evolve beyond the version of you that settled, waited, and feared. Imagine looking in the mirror a year from now and barely recognizing yourself, not because of how you look, but because of how you think. Imagine seeing someone confident, unshakable, decisive, and radiant with peace. That version of you exists in potential right now. The only barrier is your attachment to old habits. The moment you say, enough, the transformation begins. The universe doesn't need months. It responds to energy instantly. When your decision is real, life shifts immediately. But decision is not a thought, it's a frequency. You must mean it with every cell in your body. Half-hearted decisions confuse the universe. You can't say, I want to change, while secretly clinging to comfort. You can't pray for growth while still protecting your excuses. You can't claim faith while living in fear. The universe doesn't respond to words, responds to vibration. You can't fake energy. When your decision is aligned, everything begins to rearrange. It may not look like progress at first, it may look like chaos, but that's because the old structures are falling to make room for the new. When you begin breaking these habits, don't expect it to feel good immediately. Expect resistance. Expect your old self to fight back. That's natural. Your subconscious has been comfortable in familiarity for years. It will whisper, just take a break. It's too hard. Go back. Don't listen. Every time you feel that pull, it's a sign that you're close to transformation. The mind always screams the loudest right before it surrenders. The more you resist falling back, the easier it becomes to move forward. That's why discipline is freedom. Feels like restriction at first, but eventually it gives you wings. Once your new habits stabilize, they begin to serve you automatically. You no longer need to push. You're pulled by momentum. What used to take effort becomes effortless. That's when you've truly rewired your destiny. Let me tell you something. The universe rewards the brave far more than it rewards the perfectionist wait. But the brave begin, the brave act, fail, learn, adjust, and continue. They understand that every step forward, even a messy one, is still movement toward mastery. Meanwhile, the perfectionist stands still, polishing imaginary plans that never see the light. The brave have scars, but they also have stories. The waiting have excuses, but no results. And if you want your life to shift dramatically, start acting like the person you wish to become, not the one you currently are. Speak differently, move differently, show up differently. People might not understand you at first. They're still speaking the language of limitation while you've started speaking the language of elevation. Don't let their confusion stop you. Most people resist what reflects what they haven't yet become. You will lose some connections, you will outgrow environments, but that's how you know you're evolving. Caterpillars don't stay in the same garden once they become butterflies. Every environment vibrates at a certain frequency. If you stay too long in low energy environments, your growth will suffocate. That's why breaking habits is also about breaking environments. Don't just change what you do. Change where you do it, who you do it with, and why your surroundings influence your subconscious more than your intentions do. If you want to become disciplined, surround yourself with discipline. If you want courage, surround yourself with those who act despite fear. If you want faith, spend time with those who walk by it, not just talk about it. Energy is contagious. You either absorb it or emit it. If you're surrounded by complainers, you'll unconsciously start complaining. If you're surrounded by doers, your energy will rise to match theirs. Protect your frequency like it's your fortune, because it is. The wrong people can drain years from your life without you noticing. The right people can accelerate your growth in months. Choose your company with the same care you choose your future. And let me be very clear. Comfort will disguise itself as peace, but it's not the same. Peace empowers you. Comfort numbs you. Peace sharpens your vision. Comfort dulls it. Peace is the reward for alignment. Comfort is the reward for avoidance. One will build your destiny. The other will bury it. Learn to tell the difference. The path of peace will still challenge you, but it will expand you. The path of comfort will soothe you, but it will shrink you. Now, if you really want to accelerate your transformation, practice this daily. Every morning, before checking your phone or letting the world dictate your energy, take a deep breath and affirm, today I choose power over excuse, growth over comfort, action over waiting. Say it until it feels true. Don't just repeat words, generate the emotion behind them. Feel it in your chest. See it in your mind. Let that energy radiate outward. That's how you program your subconscious to serve your new identity. Because every day is a new audition for the role you want to play in life. Are you auditioning for the role of the victim or the victor? The complainer or the creator? The one who waits or the one who walks? Life will cast you according to the energy you display. Show up like the main character, not the background noise. Speak like you believe, act like you know, and persist like you've already won. When you live this way, doors open, not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you've become the kind of person who can walk through them. Opportunities that once intimidated you now excite you. Challenges that once scared you now refine you. You stop chasing certainty and start chasing purpose. And that's when destiny begins to unfold faster than logic can explain.